The mayor of Jersey City used to require the city workers to line up at City Hall on New Year's Day and give him money. You had to give him at least 3% of your salary or send a woman up to his penthouse. Send your wife or your girlfriend. It was called Rice Pudding Day. He was in office 1917 through 1947, and his political machine was called the organization. When he died, he had $10 million, even though his city salary was only $9,000. He owned mansions. When people questioned his practices, he said, "I am the law." A boy passed away in our neighborhood. He was 13 years old. Nobody told us kids about illness, and adults never used the word cancer. We went to the boy's house to pay our respects. His body was laid out in the living room. His mother said we could have a seat. I didn't sit down. I was afraid to sit on their furniture. I didn't want to catch death. A policeman shot a man when I was playing outside. My mother called out the window. "Stand back," she said. But I went closer. I leaned in. I stretched my neck to get a good look. There was a hole in his chest. There was no blood on his shirt. It was a clear shot. Bullets were bigger back then, back in the 1940s. I grew up on Grand Street. I went with my mother to the chicken market run by the Italians. You would pick out a chicken, and they would kill it and defeather it for you. Lower Jersey City had a lot of Italians. We lived in the apartment over the drugstore. When we woke up in the morning, we ran into the hallway. The milkman came. We ran so nobody would steal our cream. When the iceman came, we went downstairs to the street with our two-handled tin bucket. We carried our block of ice up the stairs, me and my brother. We needed ice for our ice box to keep our food fresh. Every morning my mother pinned a fresh handkerchief to my dress. Paper tissues were for ladies who wore rouge on their cheeks, not for children. We had handkerchiefs. There were a lot of boys in our neighborhood who were just up from the South. They had initial first names like BT, TI, and DJ. A boy in my class was named LM. The teacher asked him, "What does LM stand for?" He thought about it. "That's my name," he said, "LM." We lived on Grand Street. Grand Street was the poorest of the poor. I had a handsome uncle. He was well dressed and well groomed, and he told us funny stories about the people he met. He was better looking than the rest, but he never had a girlfriend. He never dated women like my other uncles. When I was 10 years old, he lived with us on Grand Street in our apartment over the drugstore. One day I asked my mother, "How come he doesn't have a lady friend like my other uncles?" My mother looked at me and she spoke very quietly. "There are some things we don't talk about outside the family," my mother said. But that's all she said. I didn't know what that answer meant, and I didn't bring it up again. A few years passed. As I and my brother got older, we were almost teenagers. We were starting to hit puberty. We asked questions about many topics, and we gained interest in the opposite sex. One day, my father told my mother, "It's time for your brother to go and live his own life." My uncle had to go. My uncle moved out of our apartment. He found an apartment with another man. My mother never said anything about their relationship. We just acted like it didn't exist. There were no polite words for such a topic. There were no polite words for such a thing in the 1940s. We didn't speak to Anna. When I saw Anna on the street downtown shopping with her mother, I never said hello. All the kids knew her, but nobody said anything. We had all gone to elementary school together. Everybody at PS4 knew Anna, and we all knew that her family was black. But after elementary school, her mother and father moved their family into a new house in a new neighborhood. They rented out a house, and the family broke all ties with the black community. They rented a house that was not rented out to blacks. Anna and her family passed for white in Jersey City. They were free. They could come and go as they pleased. They were not looked down upon. If you had money and what they thought was white skin, you got respect. We colored people did not say anything. No one ever told on her. We didn't agree with it, but we didn't blame her. In 1958, Anna married a blue-collar white man. Sometimes I saw her downtown out shopping with her kids. When we saw each other, we didn't speak. I remembered her, and she remembered me. I forced myself not to talk to her. I might forget myself and touch her arm, or give her a little hug. That would break the cover with the white folks. Black people were not allowed to touch white people. Anna passed for white in Jersey City in the 1940s, 1950s, 1960s. All the black people knew. We weren't mad at her. We knew why she did it, so she could get respect. No one said anything for 50 years. Someone broke into my doctor's office looking for drugs. My doctor had his office on the first floor of his house. They put a plastic bag over my doctor's head. He didn't die, but he got asphyxiated. He couldn't be a doctor anymore. He had to go live inside a nursing home.